Yep. Start the recording. Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay. Can you see my screen right now? Which is a Word document.
I can, but it's a little blurry.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it happens because
Okay, it's good now.
yeah, good. So basically, this class is about, I would say, a brief description. It's about how you utilize the programming language to program for some certain applications. Because most of the students, I assume, you guys are from the industrial and system engineering, so you will deal with a lot of data in your further study or for your work, for your job. So I will teach you the programming using Python and specifically focusing on the data analysis or data analytics. So a lot of concepts about programming, software engineering, user interface, and also the computational program solving, statistic, even machine learning will be, a little bit of machine learning, I would say, will be introduced in this class. And those libraries associated with these topics will be also introduced. For the logistic, basically, all the lectures and the labs will be conducted in this Zoom meeting room, and both are on from 3:30 to 4:45 in the afternoon, and Tuesday, Thursday. All right. So I set up two office hours, same day of the lecture and labs, 1 to 2 p.m. I mean 1 to 2:30 p.m. Same meeting room. So I will log in this Zoom meeting room and wait for you guys. If you have any questions, concerns, just join the meeting room and we can discuss. Because Zoom has a function that we can have a separate discussion room. So if you want to talk to me separately, that's also fine. Just join this meeting, Zoom meeting room, and if you want, we can have a separate room for the discussion or any questions. All right, that's the arrangement. Any questions about this part? Okay. So, and another part I will talk about later, which is more related to the assessment or grading. And but the first thing you need to keep in mind is this logistic. Another thing is we have my course. Let me share the my course screen. Okay, here. We have a my course homepage, set it up. So I will constantly post the announcement, also some of the homework on this homepage. And so you'd better to check it regularly in order to prevent the missing of any important information. But I usually send emails to you as well to make sure you will receive those important information. But to double check, you better to check this website as well. All right. Okay, let's go back to the slide. Let me share. All right, let's start the lecture. So in today's lecture, I'm gonna introduce you the basic concept for the programming and why we need to learn programming skills as an industrial and system engineer, and what we can do with it. And also, I will give you a little test about how the Python programming will look like. All right. So first I'll introduce myself a little bit for those who haven't taken any of my courses. So I joined RIT in last January, and it's roughly 1.5 years so far, okay? And previously I was an assistant professor at Tennessee Tech University, and I spent a little time at Purdue, and I got my PhD from the Chinese University of Hong Kong. And my research focus is more related to the computational methods for additive manufacturing. Because you all know there's an Empress Center located in the Institute Hall, right? And my focus is the design methods, the tool path planning for the 3D printing process. Some of the interesting work would be this customized design using additive manufacturing. You can see this customized helmet actually is designed using the software I developed. Also some new process which can be enabled by the design method, like the 4D printing. So the 4D printing is like, yeah, instead of printing a 3D shape, you're printing some 2D pattern. And there are some activation mechanism. For example, if you heat this 2D pattern to a certain degree, I mean, to a certain temperature, this 2D pattern will deform to a 3D shape, something like this. But how you estimate what will be the final shape it look like before you actually do this process? So that relies on the computational simulation, right? That's another research. The third one is the generative modeling. As you can see here, for some customized design, you really want this design to bear certain mechanical load or something, but you don't know if the load is applied, what will be the shape, right? So definitely you want to have some computational tool to support. So that is the so-called generative modeling tools. But how to make it easier to use for the general users? So that's one of my research emphasis. So the last one is the multi-axis additive manufacturing. So basically, besides the 3 degree freedom additive manufacturing, how about we add some rotational and other translational degree freedoms? So what will this new degree freedom improve the additive manufacturing process? And how to enable such a process, all rely on the tool path planning, shape optimization, and so on. All right. So another big chunk of my work related to the human-centered design and manufacturing. So all these topics are the research interest I'm currently having, like the augmented reality, especially for some training and support for the manufacturing. Just imagine you have augmented reality glasses. You can see through this glass to see some virtual object in the physical environment, just like the game Pokemon Go, right? So basically you see through your cell phone and see some virtual Pokemon is running on the real environment. But for my work is in the manufacturing plant, you have augmented reality devices, and the worker wear it, and there will be instruction over there, something like this. Also, some customized design and functional design and manufacturing. Actually, all this research rely on the programming, the computational method. So I've been working in this area for the past 10 years. So I'm very familiar with this kind of concept. And in my mind, it is very important to not only the computer science student, but also the engineering students. And that's why I want to take this course. I want to teach this course and share some of my experience in this area. All right. So now that's your turn. Basically, I would like you to share some of information of yourself, your name, department, in which year of study, what's the rationale you take the course, and do you have any idea about programming? Do you have any experience with programming? And also, what's your expectation from taking this course? And anything else you want to share with us? All right. So I will stop the sharing and give the and let you guys to talk. Okay, maybe I will assign who will talk, okay? Because it's really hard for you guys to volunteer, right? So I will just follow the order of the participants list on my computer. Okay, so maybe I should share the screen because you might forget the questions I put there. All right, maybe like this. So first, Abby, correct me if my
Yeah, Abby.
Abby, okay. Hi.
I'm really sorry, but could you reshare the screen?
Oh,
with
yeah, I forgot.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I'm Abby Norris. I'm an industrial and systems engineer. It's gonna be my second year. I'm sorry, what did you mean by my background? Do you mean like my background in programming?
Actually, yeah, I mean, whatever background related to programming or this, your major, it's fine, yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not that formal, yeah, just feel free to share anything you want, yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I really know about programming is the MATLAB. I had to do for Calc 1, and then if you consider that SolidWorks stuff that we did in materials processing programming, then I guess that as well.
Okay.
I'm taking this course because it's on the little flow chart for industrial systems engineers. I really don't know much about programming at all. I've never been particularly good at it, so normally because of that, I kind of stayed away from it if I could. But yeah, I guess what I want to learn, that would be nice if I could get better at it because it's never really going away, especially in the engineering field.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. The second one is Anna or Anna.
Hi, I'm Anna Karen. I'm also in industrial and systems engineering. I'm going to be a second year.
Second year, okay.
I am also taking this because it is part of our flow chart. I've had a little bit of experience with programming, but it was kind of a while ago, so definitely need to brush up on some stuff. And
okay, what kind of a language you use?
It was Java, and it was in high school.
Okay, Java, okay.
But I would just love to learn and just feel more comfortable and also just not so scared about programming.
Okay, yeah, that's very important. Okay. All right. So next is Chelsea.
All right, hi, I'm Chelsea Taylor,
Hello.
and I am in Industrial and Systems Engineering, and I'm a second year.
Mm-hmm.
And for my background, I guess I don't really have much besides the SolidWorks for like previous use of different programs. And then I also took the course because it's on the flowchart. What do I know? I don't know much about programming. And I just want to become familiar with it, maybe learn
Okay.
some cool new
Good.
things. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. Thank you. I think the next will be Ellie.
Did you mean Ellis?
Alice, yeah, I'm sorry. I
No
feel
problem.
embarrassed because you were in my material processing class, but I still don't know how to pronounce your name. But yeah,
That's
now I
all right.
remember Alice. Okay, good.
So my name is Ellis Cleveland. I'm also in ISEE, second year. I'm taking this course because I took it last year and I didn't pass it. So, because I've never really been good at programming, and I just couldn't wrap my head around it. But I like the way you teach, so I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get a hang of it.
Good.
I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
that's about it.
yeah. Thank you. I mean, I won't compare because I have no idea what the previous lecturers, how the way he teach. But from my perspective, because I'm also an engineer, I'm not a computer scientist. I mean, at least not 100% computer scientist. So I know what an engineer would think of programming, and that's very different from what computer scientist student or researcher's perspective. So I will try my best to kind of give you a very good introductory class to programming, and I will try my best to think from the engineering perspective. All right. So next will be Frankie, also my previous material processing student, right?
Yep, that was a good class.
Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Frankie, industrial
Yeah.
engineering major.
Mhm.
This is my second year, and obviously I took this course because I was on the flow chart. And about my programming experience, I took a class in my senior year of
Mhm.
high school, and I barely scraped by, and especially considering it was like the last semester of senior year. So, and I was so bad, I don't even remember what program, like I don't remember exactly what type of programming it was, like whether it was Python or C++ or whatever. I really didn't pay attention, but I got through the class, and I will definitely take this class much more seriously because for obvious reasons. So yeah.
Okay, sounds good. All right. So our next is Geng Shen or John, right? You go by John or?
Yeah, both is
Okay.
fine. Hi, my name is Geng Chen,
Geng Chen.
or call me John if you want. It doesn't matter. I am a second year industrial engineer. The reason why I take this class is it's on the flow chart, and for the previous experience with Python, I think I took programming class sophomore in high school, but back then it wasn't a pleasant experience. I kind of suffered a little bit because English wasn't too good and wasn't my primary language, so it was kind of hard for me. But I guess now I'll definitely
Yeah.
program is. I know that programming is a big way, not only for engineering, but for the whole bit, for the whole big direction. So I guess
Yep.
good to
Sounds good.
learn Python.
Actually, John brought up a very good point. Basically, programming, actually, especially for a beginner, it's more like you learn a new language. I mean, a good news for you guys is it's quite similar to English. Actually, share a lot of words and also the grammars in English. It's more like an awkward version of English. Basically, you need to use this language to speak with computer and let the computer do something you want. So that's the way I look at programming. And I think it's, especially for beginners, that's the way you should look at the programming as well. And I will show you what's the relationship between a programming language and a human language in the later slides. All right. So the next is Hunter.
Hi, my name is Hunter Hansen. I'm an industrial engineering major, second year. I have no background whatsoever in anything to do with this. And I'm taking this course because it's on a flow chart.
Yep.
And I just want to be able to know what people are talking about when they're talking about coding.
Good.
That would be good.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So our next one is Kira.
Hi, I'm Kira. I'm also an industrial engineer. I'm in my second year. I don't have like any background with programming really at all. I'm taking this course because it's on the flowchart, just like what everyone else is saying. And I don't know much about programming, but I'm excited to learn because it seems cool and important.
Yeah. Sounds good. And Laura.
Hi, my name is Laura. I am from the industrial engineering major too. I'm in my second year. I honestly know nothing about programming. Like I have no background. And I took this course because I haven't taken the ISEE 120 yet, but it wasn't fully online. So I had to choose the one that was fully online because I'm not in Rochester this semester.
I see.
So yeah, that's
okay.
Yeah,
good. I mean, as I mentioned, there's no issue with you guys fully access this class remotely because it can be fully accommodated online. All right. Okay, we have. So if my pronunciation is wrong, just correct me. I guess it's Maya, or just correct me.
It's Maya.
Maya, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Sorry, it's a hard
Thank you.
But yeah, I'm Maya Falone. I am an ISE major. I'm a second year. I have like zero background with programming. I'm actually pretty nervous for this class. Don't think I'll be great at it, but when we did MATLAB, like I know it's not real coding, but didn't absolutely love that. So I mean, I'm looking forward to learning in this class and learning something new, but yeah, and I'm taking it because it's on the flow chart, and that's about it.
Okay, good. I mean, basically my point is still, none of you should be afraid of taking this class. Again, just learn a new language. I mean, it's very similar to English. Come on, I'm not asking you to learn a Chinese, right? So maybe from the very beginning, you will have to pay more attention to those grammar, syntax issue, and the rules for you and format to write the code. But later, you will get used to it. I mean, just like learning a language. And then you need to pay more attention to the logic, right? You want to do something, but there are multiple ways to achieve it. So how are you going to do? Which one's the best? Which one gives you the highest efficiency? which one will give will cost you less time, because there could be multiple combinations. So that's the I would say the process to learn this Python for you guys, for engineers. All right. Then we have Matthew Allen.
Hi, Professor. My name is
Hello.
Matthew Allen. I go by Matt. I'm in industrial engineering, but considering a change to mechanical. I'm not sure yet, or maybe a minor in mechanical. This is my first semester at RIT, but I have like all the math and physics out of the way, except for statistics. So I'm kind of ahead in some things and behind in others. So I have a lot of the math and physics, but I don't have very many engineering courses.
Okay.
So I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
My transfer evaluation said I came in as a 5th year, but obviously that isn't the case. So
okay.
My background, so I don't really have any experience in programming. I tried to get into it when I was much younger and I didn't like it. So I'm hoping that perhaps I can learn some throughout this course.
Okay.
I took the course, obviously, just like most, if not everyone else, just because it's on the flow chart and it's required for industrial.
I see. Yeah, I mean, definitely learning statistics and math will beneficial to your programming study.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of algorithms and also the basically for some of the data analysis or machine learning, you are dealing with data and you need to use a lot of knowledge from statistics specifically.
Luckily, I do have one statistics class that I took.
Good.
It just didn't transfer in properly, so I have to retake it. So hopefully that'll help.
Yeah, but this course will not that focus on those advanced topics like machine learning. I will give you a little intro to that, at least some simple ones like linear programming or some of those curve fitting. I will give you a little intro and teach you how to use the functions and libraries Python provides to solve those problems. And later you could learn by yourself or take more advanced classes. I mean, my vision is to establish a whole path from preliminary class, introductory class to those advanced level classes in our department. And previously we don't have such a path. And yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
Thank you.
So, yep. And another Matthew. I think it's Matthew Arkos.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Matthew Arkos.
Arkos, okay, thanks.
I'm also in the industrial engineering major. I am a 2nd year.
So you were also in my material processing class, right?
Yes, I was last year.
Yep.
So my background, I guess I did some programming in my senior year and I think my sophomore year of high school. And then I took this course because it was mandatory, I guess, on the flowchart. And then what do I know about programming? Not a lot. It was like quite a while ago, so I kind of forgot everything.
Oh, okay.
I know that if you misplace one letter, it's just gonna mess up the whole program.
Oh yeah, that's possible. Yeah.
So I guess what I want to learn from this course, how to program, I hope.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Yep. Then we have Monica.
Hi, my name is Monica Hocevar. I am a 2nd year industrial engineering student. I have absolutely no background in programming at all. So I am taking it specifically because it's required for the major. But I am excited to learn about programming because I think it's going to look really nice for jobs, for job applications, just to be able to know it. And it's always been something where I realize how helpful it is, but I've just never gotten a chance to actually learn it.
Nice. Yeah. So are you the Monica in my class previously?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. All right. Yeah, and also another possibility would be after these courses, you could take some online course like on Coursera or other online platform. And the good thing is they have a certificate. So you could take this as a introductory ones, and then take more advanced courses, and then you get a certificate. That could help you when you find a job. And that could be another strategy you guys need to think of. All right. And so the next one is Peter Radman.
Hi, I'm Peter Radman. I'm industrial engineering second year. I took this course because of the flowchart, of course. I think that's pretty normal today. About programming, I took 2 programming class or coding classes in my high school. Did Java and a little bit of Python.
I see. Good.
And learned from this course. Want to learn how to apply it to I think everyone said industrial, so I guess our major.
Nice.
And yeah, it's basically
good. And also, I remember you were in my material processing class, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, I think the ultimate goal would be not just know the basic language of Python, but apply it to some data analysis and optimization. So that's the ultimate goal for this class. All right. So we have Suli.
Sully.
Oh, sorry.
That's fine. I was in your class too.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. I remember your face actually. But yeah. sorry about the pronoun.
No worries. I don't care. I'm Sully. I go by Sully. I'm in industrial engineering too. Second year. I took 1 coding class in high school, but I don't even remember what the I don't remember what the program was. And I'm taking this class because it's on the flowchart.
Okay, good. Okay, I think that's we still have Vicky.
Hi, I'm Vicky. I'm in industrial engineering. I'm a second year, and I don't really have much of a background in programming. This is kind of new to me, so I guess I want to learn more about it and see how it goes.
Okay, sounds good. I think everybody has introduced themselves, right? Does anyone who hasn't, has anyone not introduced themselves? No? Okay, good. Okay, let's go ahead and continue. So as I mentioned, in this class, we need to not only learn the theories, but also apply it to the applications in the industrial and system engineering to solve some of these questions. Like, the most common one will be like the linear regression, something like that, or processing some data from let's see, the manufacturing plant, right? There are tons of data, but how are you gonna have some more compact conclusion from the data, right? So that all relies on some of the programming tools to process them. Okay, so that's the basic concept. And also, by the end of this course, you should not only know the foundations of computer programming, but also know how to design the graphical interface using like Qt Designer associated with the Python compiler, as well as applying what you learned from this class to some of the real applications in data analysis, optimization, and machine learning. All right. So if we look at the topics we're gonna cover, I would roughly separate them to two categories. The first half, which is on the right, left-hand side, are the basics of Python languages. It's syntax, the basic structures, all the like the loops, Boolean operation, and the data structures, and some of the random number and Monte Carlo simulation method, also so on and so forth, and also the object-oriented programming. So that's the first part, and then the second part we will go deeper to explore some Python-based libraries, like the one listed here. Like the number PY, system PY, and some of the data visualization and data analysis libraries. Also, I will introduce a little bit about the GUI programming, meaning you will have an interface like the software or apps you use. You will have a program with menu, button, and you can interact with. All right. Also, some libraries for the optimization, and a little bit machine learning. All right. So that's the planned topics to be covered. Of course, I could adjust this by hearing back from your feedback, and that could be more or less, and that depends on how well you guys take them, and whether there's a necessity to include more or not. All right. So any questions so far? Okay. For the grading, basically, I will give you some homework or quizzes, which takes 20% of the total grade. I think this one has something wrong. Actually, there, I need to update this, but it's different from the one on the syllabus. Let me do it right now. Actually, it's not right. I updated in the syllabus, but not on the PowerPoint. Let me change it. So there's only one midterm, not two. Where is it? Yeah. Midterm. All right. So can you still see my screen? Yes?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, I stopped the sharing. Okay, good. Let me resume. Okay, how about now?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, good. Thank you. So we will have 20% grades goes to the homework and quizzes. Basically, it will help you to understand the course material. And then another 20% to the midterm. And the final exam will take another 20%. So we will have a course project. So in this course project, you will be asked to implement a program for a specific task. Actually, the detailed task for this course project is still not determined yet. I will definitely talk with you guys for your opinion. And it could be the one assigned by me, or you could propose by yourself. But no matter how, it will take the most of the credit, which is 40%, because that is very important to apply what you learned in this course, right? Not just understanding the series. Okay, and here shows the criteria of gradings, letter gradings. Basically, again, I won't do any. If you ever taken my course previously, you know I won't do curve. Means if you got A, you got A. Okay, I won't restrict like only 5% A, 10% A minus, something like that. I won't do that. So just try your best, and you will have a good grade. Okay, so any questions about this part? I think you might have some questions. Okay, you can also type if you don't want to speak. Okay, good. So the next is about the textbook. So actually there's no need to have any textbook. I will provide the lecture notes, which is self-content. Means you can find everything just in the lecture notes. But there are some really nice books which can be references for you. Here I list some of them because there are tons of books for Python. It's so popular. So I just select some of the good ones, especially this Python for Everybody. This is a really good book. Basically, there's no barriers for people who may not know programming previously to read this book. It's very basic and step by step. Sorry. So, but the rest three are also good. Also, you can find many online learning materials on the website of Python or this website. Actually, this www.py4e.com is associated with this Python for Everybody book, so you can check it. There are a lot of examples and materials over there. But again, if you don't want to purchase any of the book, that's 100% fine, because I will provide the lecture notes to you guys, and it includes everything. Okay, so for the programming, we can start from understanding the computer hardwares. So the modern computer hardware could be looked at in these aspects. So the first part is the central processing unit, which is also called CPU, the brain of the computer, right? So you have the Intel or AMD CPUs, which are the mainstream ones. Also for the mobile phone, there are Qualcomm or other CPUs, right? Another component is the primary storage. For the computer, it is the random access memories. In short, it's called RAM, right? And basically, all the program is run in this RAM. It happens, all the running of the program happens in this RAM. So in principle, if you have a larger RAM, you could run more complex program, and you will have better performance, all right? And then we have some secondary storage. It could be hard drive, USB drive, CD or DVD, or the floppy disks, right? I think the floppy disk right now is rare, but for some old systems, they still use this to store the data or program on it. And then we have the input-output devices, right? Like the keyboard, mice, touchscreen, scanner, microphone, webcam. they are the input devices very commonly used. And we have output ones, output devices like screens, those speakers, printer, and a projector, and so on and so forth. And all these components, we put them together, that's a complete computer system. But when we talk about programming, actually the most important two components are the CPU and the RAM. If we look at the definition of programming, so basically programming is the process of designing and building an executable program to accomplish a specific computing result or to perform a specific task. So if we look at the combination of the hardware and the software of computer, so basically in the hardware, there are a set of instruction sets. Means you have something you want the CPU to do, and the CPU is waiting for the instruction. So the job of programming does is basically specify what kind of instruction you want the program, you want the CPU to do next. So that's the, I would say the most, I would say the simplest way to understand programming. So you tell the computer, the CPU, what to do next to accomplish a specific task. So the programming is the communication between human programmer and the computer. So if we look further, as you can see here, we conceptualize all the components, right? We have CPU, main memory, secondary memory, input-output devices. And the CPU is waiting for the next instruction. And the user, a programmer, just tell, I just code and send it to the main memory saying, okay, in this condition, you need to print something. And the CPU will read this code, but in the machine language, which is binary format. And the CPU understand this instruction and perform what is this code asked for. And that's the whole pipeline for you to program, and the computer gets a program to perform some task. So that's a basic concept of how programming works. And I don't think we need to go too deep to this. There are some computer architecture classes or the compiling related classes in computer science, which will talk about the details of this process. But for us, we just need to understand the basic concept. That's good enough. All right. And there are tons of applications for programming, like the game. You guys play games, right? But not just for entertainment, but also some of the other scenario like self-driving, right? The Tesla have the best self-driving system, and or internet surfing on PC, on desktop or cell phone. Some of these aerospace exploring missions, like the one, the rover on Mars, how it move on Mars and how it perform the task, the mission, it all relies on the automatic running program, which is uploaded to its, I would say, a computer on this rover. Okay, and for us, industrial engineer, we might look more in the manufacturing and data analytics applications. Especially right now, we are in the edge of smart manufacturing or industrial 4.0, means many of the devices, facilities in a manufacturing plant is becoming more and more complex and smarter and smarter. You need to tell them what to do. Although they are more powerful right now, but still you need to operate and let them do something you want, and that requires the programming skills. Also, the data analytics, right? You have you collect the data, and you want to have some conclusion. You want to interpret the data. Then what to do? Basically, you need to use some statistic, some machine learning to process the data. So these are all the the applications for programming. You can see it basically in every aspect of our life. There's some applications related to programming. And basically, there are different programming languages, just like what we have the different human languages, right? And again, it's the way human talk with the computer. And there are many different popular programming languages. For example, when I learn programming, I use the C++, which has a long history, right? And previously, I mean, even before the C++, there are C language, or even some assembly language, which is very close to the machine language. It has horrible readabilities and hard to follow. So there's not much people know how to program using assembly language currently. So with the development of programming language, we have more advanced languages like Java, C#, and Python, right? So you might ask why we choose to study Python in this class. So if we look at the statistic about the popularity of Python, you could see from all different, I just list 20, but there are more, even more. But among all of them, for general purpose, Python ranked number 3 for the popularities. The one which are in front of Python are C and Java. Considering the long history the two have, Python really have a big progress in terms of popularity. If you look at this this figure, the right-hand side one, basically this green curve means the rating of Python in terms of the time. And you can see a dramatic increasing from around 2000, I would say, 7 or something till now. And why there's a so dramatic increasing for the Python language? That is because the data science and machine learning applications. And also, if you look at the specific popularity of Python in data science, it is ranked number 1, and it's way more popular than the one at the second place. And R is also another very popular language for the data science, and you will learn from other courses in our department. So basically, you will learn Python, you will learn R, and if you understand the both, then you are full stack programmer in the data science area, which is really good, right? And from the job demanding perspective, Python basically it's here. See, it's on the top in terms of the job posting, and the second and again R is also very popular, which is ranked number 3 probably here, right? And so that's, you can from here you can see how useful the Python language in the data science and machine learning applications. And we will focus on this area specifically. That is the applications of Python in the data analysis. All right. So any questions so far? Okay, let's move on. So what do we speak in Python? If we consider Python as a language, what does it look like? So very similarly to the natural language, I mean the human language, it has its own version of vocabulary or words, which are the variables and the reserved words, right? And then we talk about the sentences. And in Python, the corresponding is the syntax patterns, how you write a line of code, which the computer will understand. Just like the grammar of a sentence, you have to make it make sense to other people, right? So you just use this analog to help you understand the Python. And we have the vocabulary, the sentence, and then how about a paragraph or even a whole article? So that's the story structure. So a good story has to be very well structured, well organized. And it is just like how you construct a program for certain purpose, right? So remember these three elements in the Python language and make an analog associated with the natural language. That will help you to understand the concept. So let's look at an example of a Python language. So basically this code will allow you to read a file and then count how many words of the file and print it. So that's the whole process. You might have difficulty to understand right now, but I'm pretty sure you will totally understand it at the end of the class. But the point here is, how about we use the three elements? We find the three elements in this code. So first is the variable and the reserved words, right? So like the one here, the name, handle, count, and so on and so forth. These are all the variables that will keep some value over there for certain purpose, for certain use. And then we need to have the valid syntax. So that means the whole line of code should make sense to not person, but to the computer, right? So for example, all the one showing here, basically you have to follow the format and also the syntax patterns to tell for example, if we look at the first line, okay? Basically you are telling computer, okay, I have a variable name and I want this name to have a value which will obtain from this function. The input is a function. And it will show enter file and wait until the user inputs some file name. And then return this file name to this variable name. And that's the whole line of the code with a correct syntax pattern. And you have to follow this. So that's I would say, the tricky thing for programming, for using a programming language. Basically, for people talking, if that people has some little error or grammar error or accent, I would say, you can still understand what that people talk about in most of the time. But for programming language, well, you cannot make such mistake. Even a tiny mistake will make an error or make the whole program fail. So that's the trick thing you need to keep in mind when using a programming language, and you need to pay attention to follow the syntax pattern and grammar, I would say grammar of Python programming language, all right? And I will emphasize this again and again in the later courses. And besides, there are some structures like this for loop. See here, for line in handle, and we have this symbol. What is called? I don't remember how to say it in English, but you understand. We need this, otherwise there will be an error displayed when you compile it. Another tricky thing for Python is you have to have a correct indentation, meaning if you do not input tape here to make the word in this position, there could be some error, because that's a feature of the Python programming. Believe me, I would say less strict than many other programming language. If you're talking about C programming or C++ programming, you probably need to handle more than Python requires. So that's the thing you need to get used to, and I will remind you during my the courses goes on. Okay. And after you have all this structure, and here again, it's another structure or statement, which is called if statement, means you set up some condition, right? If that condition satisfies, you do something. Otherwise, don't do something. Very simple, right? But you have to follow this format. Again, the syntax. And finally, you need to have a global understanding what you're gonna do with a program to achieve certain purpose, and that's the whole block of code does. And you can see if you use such concepts, you can easily find how a code is working. Of course, you need to know what will be the specific rules for the syntax patterns, and what are the variables, reserved words, and how you think of the structure of program. But the basic things are very simple and clear. All right? So any questions? I think that's all for today's lecture. And if you have any questions, please ask me. How do you feel so far? First question. Maybe I ask some question first. Any comments or concerns? Come on.
I mean, I'm confused, but that's me.
Who's speaking?
Maya.
Oh, Maya. Okay. So you mean this for this example, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, this. I just want to give you some taste what a Python programming looks like. Not you are not necessarily knowing this at this moment. That's not the purpose. Just show you how we find how a Python program look like, and how we could use these three elements to understand. The Python programs. And it's totally fine, 100% fine. You don't understand it fully, and I will assure you you will understand it in the later courses, later lectures.
Professor?
Right? Yeah, go ahead.
Could you tell us what this specific program does? Because that might help us.
Yeah, good. Yeah, let me explain it one by one. Okay. So first line, basically that's an input, means you just display the enter file to the user and wait for users typing. So the user will type something like maybe Harry Potter.txt. Let's say something like this. All right. And then the second line, and the name will take, the variable name will take what you input, Harry Potter.txt will be kept in the name variable. And then the second line is open name. It will open the file which is associated with the name and pass it to the handle variable. So the handle variable will pass what you opened in the by look up the name here. And then another variable counts is initialized by the dict function. And basically you need to count how many words of this file and reserve it and kept it in later the big count and big words variables. But right now you need to do a loop. Basically this loop will read each line of the file you just read in the handle. See, for line in handle, it's very similar to the natural language, although it's a little broken or awkward, but you can still understand. Okay, that means, okay, for each line in the handle, you want to find the words by calling this function line.split, okay? And for each the word in words, that means for each line, you have multiple words. And for each of the words, you just count, okay, how many characters over there, and put it to this array, which is the count array. Array means you just put things one by one together. And I will definitely introduce this data structure later. But you just understand it's like a, basically you a container. It contains something in it, all right? And then you want to find the total words, and you want to keep your statistic to the two variable, big count and big words. And then you do another for loop by check what you put in the counts array. And if this condition is satisfied, means if the count is larger than the big count, then you store the number of the big count to this variable. So that means it turns out will give you the most frequently appearing words and how many it appears in the whole file you input. So that's what this does. Am I making sense to you guys?
Thank you. No,
it's a little unorganized, but with all these basic concepts you understand, you should be able to understand what it does. And we can go back later after a few lectures to look at it, and you will know what I'm talking about right now. Okay, but the concept is we start from the very beginning, the basic ones, and progress little by little, and it turns out we have the full thing understood. All right? Okay, any other questions? Okay, so then let's meet next Tuesday. And probably on the Tuesday's lab session, I will show you how to install the software, the Python compiler. And basically, actually there's no distinct difference between the lecture and the lab. Sometimes I just show you the code and you guys just follow me even during the lecture. And how about that? Okay.
I like that.
Okay, good, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might make mistakes.
The last class.
Yeah, good. I mean, I might make mistake as well. But because we have the compiler, when we input something, the compiler will tell us whether what we put there is correct or not, and that will improve your proficiency using the compiler to program using Python as well. All right.
In the last class, we kind of had to find everything ourselves, so we never really got taught much
Oh,
of the
okay.
actual program. So
Okay, I will
that would be a
not.
big-
Okay, good. Thank you, Alice, for your comments. And I will not let such case happen in this class. I will definitely guide you and make sure you understand step by step. All right. Okay. If there's no further question, let's stop here. And thank you again for attending the class. And let's meet next week.
All right. Thank you so much, Professor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.